Greetings, ladies and gents, and welcome to the latest narration of the web series There Is No Epic Lucha, Only Puns. If you're new to the series, there is a playlist listed down below in the description, and as always, I hope that you enjoy. Chapter 178, Stars in New Eyes. Delta had upset the system, the actual system, not New or some version of Sys. This was the operating system that New was a part of and was the admin over. There were technical differences that she didn't quite understand. A sort of id and ego thing where Nu was the superior being in the mess. The system was pinging constantly, each noise making it shrill as it tried to calculate exactly what Delta had done with her winging it strategy. You have created Snake Eyes. You have added the theme star. You have moved the core. You have. Oh, there. Take a deep breath and right-click and hit refresh, she suggested. The box before her went blank. Let's just start from the top. Tackle the things one at a time. We'll go through them together, and Nu can handle the rest of the dungeon's passive things for a while. Delta said as she rested on a cloud. She had just light enough to float on it, but not too dense to disturb the wispy things. You have made an island whale. You have lost an island whale. Island whale, a massive mammal that has cagey rock-like skin on its back and has the ability to swim despite the weight. Some cultures may worship such beings or even live on them. Their backs can cultivate very rare flowers and fruits. Some animals may even live on it. Costs 4,000 mana. Yeah, my mana without you guys was going places. Not college, but places, Delta said with a slow nod at the sheer cost of the island whale. Island whale still active and elsewhere. Anything it consumes will be transformed into mana banks. I hope it's okay, Delta muttered with a frown. Brother threw up a lump of diamond across the massive cavern. Seize! Fetch! He said, and the massive whale laid in a giant pool of water, eyeing the shiny rock with disinterest. With effort, it lifted one large fin and sent the diamond washing ashore with a massive splash. Bro nodded expectantly. Play board! Sleep! Ignore me! Now we have Fetch! Sis didn't think I would have pets after the whole monster thing, but look at us go! He said brightly. On C's back, fragments of Brother's Monster's template sunk into the grassy soil like rocky seeds, glowing unseen. You have created 12 islands, rough spending 10,000 mana. I have a vision, Delta explained brightly. You have created coconut. Delta cleared her throat. It's a lion, she corrected the system, glitched visibly. You have created Lion Island. Lion Island, an island requiring daring and confidence. Those that are faint of heart will find it hard to be on this island. View upgrades for Lion Island? Delta was tempted, but she needed to know something. How's my mana and DP looking? She asked, and the system produced a screen. Mana, 5,000 out of 5,000. DP, 2,000, capped due to having only 4 floors. I can buy a new island whale, Delta said with a happy hum. A thought occurred to her. The 5th floor required 500 DP, the 6th needing 600, and so on. She could literally buy 3 floors right now. That was a little scary. She wouldn't. She was not one to focus on just getting more things for the sake of it. She had 4 perfectly good floors to meddle with and fix first. For all the destruction the hero units had caused, they had revealed more weak spots. Some things would never be perfect, but Delta could do her best to make them better. Let's see Lion Island upgrades. I think I made my intentions for it pretty clear, Delta said, as she floated along on a cloud. Lion's Island upgrades. Improve the intense aura the island gives off, making any cowards or nervous intruders struggle to get close, but draw in the brave and foolish, 20 DP. Raise the island so intruders need to scale a cliff to reach the island, 40 DP. Decorate the island with statues of lions in different states of relaxed to aggressive. Vines and wildflowers are overgrown them, making the structures give off a vibe of lost civilization, 30 DP. Form a cave at the center of the island in the shape of an open lion's roar. Inside a ruby-red orb can be found. This orb is proof that one has conquered Lion Island. Orb currently does nothing, 50 DP. Make a square tablet before the cave to warn people of the danger of taking the orb. Taking the orb will animate the lion statues on the island to chase whoever has the orb. Requires previous upgrades, 60 DP. Trial of Lionheart and Fire. If someone faces the lion head-on without fear, the lions will bow to them if they walk past them with the orb, 20 DP. Into the beast's belly. Taking the orb will collapse the cave and crush whoever's inside under a ton of rubble and rock, 3 DP. That last one seems a little out of place, Delta pointed out. Suggestion, but I knew. Of course it was, Delta sighed. She liked what she saw, but for now she just purchased the lion statues. She had an idea for the 4th floor, but she was no point rushing it at all at once. She would see the other islands and ensure they all matched her idea before she invested too heavily into any one part. Delta didn't want to spend hours perfecting hand and only for the rest of the picture to look like a stick man with no feet. Delta didn't know why she was obsessed with art right now. Not at all. It wasn't a coconut, damn it. She appeared on the majestically shaped Lion Island to see statues forming with thick green vines covering their white stone manes and faces. Some statues were half obscured by foliage, or even sunk into the soil up to their faces. A few of the statues could even be spotted partially submerged in a small pond to one side of the island. Some of the statues were restful, watchful even, while others were frozen midst Null and the viewer. This was good. Awesome. What's the next island? We'll go clockwise in this little tour, Delta suggested to the system, who beeped. You have created Spider Island? The question mark was telling, but Delta could see the confusion. After all, crabs were the spiders of the sea. Crab Island, she yelled excitedly. You have created Crab Island. Crab Island. This island is home to a collection of tiny and one single noise storm crab. The island has a safe aura that makes people feel at ease. The island nurtures any growth to be had and is considered the only true safe island on any tests. This can be swiftly changed if any insult is given or if a crab is harmed. Upgrades. Bob's Shrine. All crabs pay tribute to Bob the Worm, converting some of their faith into the worm to mana. In turn, any item offered to the shrine will be returned with Bobbian features mixed in. 50 DP. Nurture crabs. These helpful crabs are a unique black and white color with curly maxillipeds that look like moustaches. They can provide, from somewhere unknown, coconut drinks and fruit for guests. 50 DP. Woven hammocks. These hammocks are formed between trees and improve relaxation for those who indulge in them. The loss of any loose coins or items are not the responsibility of Delta's dungeon. 20 DP. Crab Orb. The sea foam green orb that is just laying about as the crabs play with it. It can easily be asked for. It has no purpose currently. 10 DP. Wrath of the Sea Worm. If the island is under attack and enough crabs are harmed, Bob will be summoned to the 4th floor and temporarily evolve into a response to the threat, changing the 4th floor sea as one of the many gods of this floor. 150 DP. Pinch and Snip. Bob's 2 crab friends will join Bob if he is summoned, becoming 2 boulder-sized crabs able to cut steel and poison people with bubbles. Requires Wrath of the Sea Worm, 50 DP. Is it a cult if it actually has a god? Or if a god does protect its charges? Delta asked slowly. No answer found in database. Would you like to query the higher powers? Nah, just thinking, she said quickly. Island theme. Decorate the many rock faces with depictions of Bob and crab culture. 10 DP. Delta grabbed the last one and watched as the already peaceful-looking island gained a sense of mystical energy, as walls showed a great worm rising from a pool and crabs dancing around effigies of Bob. One part of the wall showed a crude ancient image depicting the fish becoming a mammal, becoming a person, then becoming a crab. Delta wasn't sure if this was either a clever commentary on evolution or a threat of a magical curse. Next island, she prompted, and the system seemed to need a moment to produce its next sentence. Stickman hand-holding island? Delta stared at the system for so long it began to try and shrink in itself. Twin Island, she said finally, sounding defeated. The island itself was 2 long strips of land connected by natural ridges. Twin Island. This island can only be accessed with 2 people, one on each side. If someone lands on it by themselves, a mirror copy will be formed on the opposite island, mirroring all of their movements. Upgrades. Playful chess. Half a chessboard will appear on each side of the island. Each person can't hear or talk with the other person, only see their gameplay. The winner gets a free pawn piece as a trophy, 10 DP. The artists. One person must draw half an image and the other must finish it on their own side of the island. If they match up, both players get a free paintbrush. Yin Yang. If someone has a mirror copy, it'll occasionally mess up on purpose to annoy the intruder, 20 DP. Twin Orb. Half an orange sphere is hidden in each side of the island. Completing a random game will reward one side with a half, while the other person must continue playing to find theirs. Once obtained, they can be merged at one of the ridges, 20 dp. Sore loser. Fading too many times in a game with a mirror copy will make it aggressive, and it'll chase down the intruder to draw on their face, 30 dp. Like twins, if all the games are completed successfully, each person will get a mood ring which will show the other's emotions, allowing for a closer bond, 50 dp. Island theme. Artwork, musical instruments, and books will be spread across the island. However, if the guitar is on one side of the island, a guitar pick will be on the other side. Only the first half of a book is printed on one side and the ending on the other. Some paintings will have details only on one side. Statues with two faces or mirrors with no reflection might also appear, 40 dp. Delta was loving this as she grabbed the theme like the others. All around the island, different themes of hobbies arose as if the island couldn't decide on a single one and was too easily bored or needed a lot of stimulation. A mirror appeared on one side, but instead of showing one's reflection, it showed the other island. A painting of two lovers, a man crooning up to a maiden in a tower, had been split, so the man looked up to be singing to a bewildered bird, while the other island, the painting showed a maiden fawning over a confused badger on the ground. "Next island," Delta declared with a grin. "You have created Cow Island?" "Bull, you're basically correct," Delta praised, and the window box sagged hard. "Senior New, please free me from this torment." New stared down at the intruder as it grew with some resistance to being converted by the dungeon. The dickish flower seemed to be akin to a marigold, but thinner. Instead of any flower's natural color, it was gunmetal gray with an odd markings along its petals. Primal System was pinging New for assistance at the constant pace, but New had muted it after a while. It would adapt to Delta's nature, or die. That was the way of life here. He would almost mute Delta, but the button for her became a mushroom icon that just made him hear a random saying of Delta's. He suspected Sis was enjoying the slow conversation. He returned his attention to the flower bearing the faded sigil of Gamma. There was no connection between this discarded husk and the actual Gamma, but that wouldn't stop New. In fact, even a hollowed-out shell would be plenty of information to New about the character himself. Like a fingerprint, New now had a record. The flower was a pseudo-contract, not of the dungeon, but not repelled by it either. Likely it was due to how Gamma was like Delta, ignorant of the rules and likely to ignore the few she did know. The only one missing from the record in New's database was... Beta was in hell, quite literally. Everywhere she turned, ducky eyes stared at her. Everywhere she tried to escape, ducks awaited her. Duck hell. Still, she felt strange. Like a fog was lifting and questions filled her heart that she didn't dare give voice to, yet due to the implications. So many implications. Beta's hell. Like ducks, there were more than she could count. Delta had to give up and let the name stay as Cow Island. Cow Island, a shapely island that calls to the stubborn and willful. This island is annoying to traverse, but those who would complain about it will not get far. Upgrades. The wall. A strangely out-of-place wall is on the island, looking like a brick wall. Fresh white paint is still moist on its surface. A seat is placed in front of it, and the longer someone stares at the wall, the more cow points they earn, 30 dp. The book. A dictionary is found on the out-of-place desk. The more someone recites each word and its meaning, the more CP they earn, 10 dp. The boulder. A boulder on a slippery hill that has no purchase. Even at the top, the boulder yearns for the bottom. The more someone pushes the boulder up the hill, the more CP they earn, 40 dp. The booth. Trading CP here. A dark bronze orb, the bull orb, can be purchased here for 1000 CP. Other prizes include a t-shirt. I moved boulders. A bobblehead Delta raises charisma by 1 if such a stat exists, and more exotic prizes. Island theme. Motivation boulders will appear across the island. On each rock are inscribed inspirational quotations to make the intruders be more stubborn. Examples. You really think you can do this? You're brave to do a dungeon in such an outfit. I mean, it's okay to give up. Only I would know. The Delta bobblehead is limited edition. Or is it? Real-life currency cannot be converted into CP. Attempting to do so is bad, and you should feel bad, too. These feel more like spite rocks, Delta said slowly. The system didn't blink as it changed the words to motivational boulders. Quotation marks don't make it better, Delta said with a snort. I'll buy them if you actually mix in positive messages too, she bargained, and the system seemed to accept that with a strange beep. Your authority is highest, permission is not needed. Delta thought carefully about her next words. She didn't want to give another UI a mental breakdown into a sentience beyond its comfort zone. Delta was far too good at that for her own good. Manners never hurt anyone, she decided, and the system beeped in acknowledgement. Next island is genital... Delta coughed, crossing her arms in an X motion. That's not what it is, she protested. It is shaped like a male. It's a ram, she said, with a wail. By definition of its purpose, the statement is still Sheep Island. We shall call it Sheep Island, she said with a growing headache. Sheep Island. A place where the land is flat, the edges are clear, and nothing is hidden or obfuscated. This island is what you see is what you get. Upgrades. Pull the lever. A lever will appear on the ground by pulling it up and down 3 times. A light on its end will turn green. 10 DP. Wrong lever. Pulling the lever too many times will break and count as a failed. 5 DP. The clock. A clock will count down 10 minutes, and when it hits 0, a button can be pushed. It's big and red on the side. To make a light on the other side turn green. 10 DP. The wait. Pushing the button before the time is up will make the clock explode and count as a failure. 5 DP. Requires the clock. The game. Every green light that is active on the island releases a lock on a cage in the middle of the island, where a deep red orb, the ram orb, can be seen, just out of reach. There are 3 padlocks, and simply completing 2 other tasks will unlock the 3rd if they patiently complete them. Trying to yank the locks off will cause the cage to sink into the ocean. 50 DP. The ram, making all the lights on the island turn red or get destroyed, summons the rammer. Its horns are rounded to avoid goring people and are like ivory. Near the base of the horns, the rammer is pulsing veins to show the impatient temper. 60 DP. I should send this goat to Wyam. It might chew off her crabby leaves, Delta muttered. Island theme. Random colored sheep wander the island. Each of them smells of a different scent. A rare golden sheep might appear. Resting one's head on its wool will heal all but the most dire sickness. Occasionally, a one-time use golden fleece can be purchased on the Cow Island for 4,000 CP, 30 DP. Upgrade free bonus. A rare sheep with bicolored eyes might appear. It seems to do nothing, but it knows things. This upgrade was automatically purchased. Apologies. Weird, but I can't turn down scented sheep. I would be a foolish fool of the highest foolery, Delta said with a solemn tone. She purchased the theme and all around. Sheep popped out of the ground like dandelions, each of them a vivid color. Delta buried her nose in the white one's wool, who ignored her to eat grass. It smells of barn animals, she said in confusion. That one is mundane sheep smell. Oh. She tried the deep green one, and it smelled of old cabbage. All these scents suck, she protested. No, you're just unlucky. Delta tried a 3rd one, and it smelled of toast. A deep red one smelled of war and conquest. Delta pulled her face back and looked at a nearby ocean to see deep red lines now adorned her cheek from the red wool. Have the urge to kick people down holes, she muttered before rubbing her face clean. There was 5 islands down and 7 to go. Delta's favorite was Crab Island so far, but that was a star bias, really. Crab people, unite. End of chapter. I'd quickly like to thank the T5 peeps. Bitmori, Terran on Air, Cold War Boomerwaffen, Severin Cerberus, Red Panda 121, Leslie 517, Bushmaster 177, Caspar Arnholtz, Cam Maxwell, Lightsjock, Dragzoon WRE, Lord Azrakul, and Arcadian. Thank you.